Good morning, and great to be with you today. I know we are probably earlier than normal on our live stream, and so if you get the notification, hopefully you're on. And if you don't get the notifications when we're live, be sure and do so that you can get these live, and then also for those of you who watch them later in the morning, afternoon, or even in the evening, be sure and like and share all of these Power Up videos. Glad to be with you today. We're going to continue in Psalm 26. We are taking the in-laws up to see the Sulaks today. So I don't remember ever being there, and I could be mistaken. I may have forgotten, but I don't ever remember being there. I know I was deprived as a child. My parents didn't love me and all that good stuff. No, I'm just kidding. But they did take, I think, some of my younger siblings up there. So maybe it is true. I don't know. So, no, I am not deprived, and blessed to have wonderful parents and a great childhood. But anyway, we're going to be in Psalm 26. Oh, before we start that, if you have, and I hate to open it up like this, but if you have any suggestions about the Sulaks and all that good stuff, what to do, where to stop on the way, or if you've been there, some things that you've learned, I'd love to hear about them. So if you want to personal message me through Messenger, that is perfectly fine. Or if you've got my number, you can text me, let me know some of that stuff. We're leaving probably about an hour or so, but anyway, if you've got any tricks to the trip or the trade, please let me know that. Anyway, Psalm 26, here we go. Look with me down at verse number 6. Psalm 26, verse 26, it says, I will wash my hands in innocency, so will I compass thine altar, O Lord. Think about this thought here. David says, I'll wash my hands in innocency. Really, pretty awesome thought here to have like an innocent mind towards things. And to not realize maybe the wickedness that could be out there, the evil that's out there, the sin that's out there. Oh, to be innocent of that. And really, that's kind of what the job of a parent is. Yes, it's to teach and train, prepare your children for their next step in life, if you will. But also, it is to protect them from the evil and the wickedness that is out there, to keep them, if you will, innocent from the evilness and wickedness. And that's a job of the parent. And I don't need my kids to experience evil and wrong to have you out there. Or to experience evil, wickedness, to learn from mistakes, but rather I want to teach them so that they are not and do not experience the evil, the wickedness, and the consequences of it. And so I want to keep them, if you will, kind of innocent and spot free from some of the sin that's out there. They don't need to experience it to learn it. That is kind of how it is. And David says, hey, I will wash my hands in innocency. And before we move on, it looks like I got a comment here from Counter Baptist Church, and it might be my wife who has commented that underneath the wrong name. So Ingrid, I don't know, might need to change that a little bit there. So make sure you're commenting under the right person if you do comment. Anyway, we'll move on, and hopefully she can get that taken care of. But verse number 7 says that I may, and here's why I want to publish, or why David says, so I will compass thine altar, O Lord. Being at the altar, sacrifice happens at the altar, commitment happens at the altar. And so David say, hey, I will compass thine altar, O Lord. He's going to be around Lord's altar, confessing sin, forsaking sin, moving on, living for the Lord. And that's why we get to verse number 7. And here's why: that I may publish with the voice of thanksgiving and tell of all thy wondrous works. And this is speaking of testimony. It's speaking of God of David being faithful and thanking God for his many blessings, for his provision, for his protection, and having a voice of thanksgiving, praising the Lord to people, in front of people. And yes, Ingrid, I'm glad it's you, but you've commented again as Calvary Baptist Church. So good job there. We got some kinks to work out with your Facebook page. But anyway, as we continue, it says, and tell of all thy wondrous works. You know, as Christians, we love to hear, or as human beings, I guess I should say, we love to hear praise heaped upon us. But we should be praising the Lord. And so I want to encourage you, much like David says, hey, I'm gonna encompass your altar, Lord. I'm going to encompass your altar, and then I'm going to praise you for your wondrous works, for all that you've done, and all that you've provided. Think with me, if you will, those of you who maybe watched the Sunday morning service, maybe by the live stream, or you were here in person. Think with me now. We had discussed thinking positively, even in the midst of overwhelming circumstances. Okay, think with me on those thoughts. If you remember back to Sunday morning, if you don't, you can go back and watch the sermon there and listen to the sermon. But overwhelming circumstances, they're going to be in our lives. We're going to experience them in our lives, and so as we experience these overwhelming circumstances, these difficulties, sometimes they're in the form of trials, sometimes they're brought on by a consequence of sin. But as we go through these, try to, as we seek to follow the Lord, try to be positive in these. And look at what God is trying to teach you. Look at the good side of the circumstances. Don't focus on the circumstances. Focus on a God that's bringing you through them. And that's what we're talking about here this morning. And David's kind of alluding to, did David make mistakes? Yes, he did. Did David sin? Yes, he did. Did David experience heartache and difficulty? Of course he did. But he says he's going to publish with a voice of thanksgiving and tell all thy wondrous works. Let's remain faithful in praising God for who he is, what he's done, and what he is doing, even in the midst of our overwhelming circumstances and our difficulty. So just want to leave that thought with you today. Thanks for being with me, and hope to hear from you about the Sulaks. If you've been there, message me and love to hear from you there. Have a great day. Looking forward to tomorrow for our Power Up tomorrow, and then also our services Wednesday night. We've got 4 weeks left in our elective series. And so if you have not been out on Wednesday, I would encourage you to come out. Maybe you've missed a couple weeks. Hey, let's get back at it as we seek to finish out strong here for our summer elective series. Lord bless you. Have a great day, and let's praise God and thank God in all that we do. We'll see you tomorrow.